In modern winemaking, everybody's looking for the new frontier to push the limits of winemaking and grape cultivation. And it's very interesting to see how the traditional Emelenarde Valley has been growing higher in altitude up to this ward called Emelenarde Ridge, which is the highest altitude, the cooler climate. And maybe it needed a guy from the mountain like Jesse Martin to look at it with a positive outlook and see the potential, especially for traditional Burgundian grapes like Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. This is a creation from 2021 that the estate wine in appellation Emelenarde Ridge. What do you think of this creation wine?
Well, I know that this wine is supposed to represent, give the thumbprint of their estate. And so it is their bigger volume wine. And they do have 2 tiers above that. No, not 2 tiers.
Yes, the reserve.
Two wines. Hey, the reserve and
the
3.
Art of Chardonnay.
Art of Chardonnay, and then isn't there the one that they name after their son? Anyway, we digress.
Okay.
We digress. What I'm finding here is some clever farming. This is the coolest part of the Emelenarde. So you're going to need to have some extra hang time potentially to fully ripen your grapes. And I think that there's been some really clever farming here because the grapes are really ripe. They're exhibiting this lovely cooler climate lemon, but then they're picking up some of the orange tones from the riper side of the Chardonnay fruit when it is picked. So for me, it's quite a rich Chardonnay. And I think adding to that richness is this kind of oak, which for me is obvious. But what it's nice about this oak is that on the nose, it's not adding to the sweetness. So it's not the vanilla or the usual cooking spices that you can get from oak. It's just those woody spices of a lovely old carpenter's shop. And similarly on the palate, because it's not vanilla, because it's not the cooking spices from a heavier toast, you're not getting sweetness, and it's not contributing to any sweetness that you get on the wine. The wine is bone dry, and it relies on the fruit just to pad it out, to give it shape and form, and then that fruit is neatly contained by the oak that's been used.
I think that's a very good description of what this Creation Chardonnay 2021 is. And what's surprising is for that level of freshness, the level of grape ripeness. As you said, we are on a riper side of the citrusy family, and it's extremely generous. It's a wine that has a wide middle palate, but not a heavy or overwhelming middle palate.
Absolutely
It
not.
just got a broader spectrum of flavors and texture on the palate. And like you said, the use of oak, and that's a very clever winemaking. It's not trying to use that as a bold statement. It's just here to help the Chardonnay to carry the length of its freshness. So that's a very well-made wine from the new border of Chardonnay in South Africa. And well done for the pioneers that are making that wine.